Welcome to Two Poor Artists, where we're poor at carving pumpkins for the second year in a row. My name's Isaac.
And my name is Benj. You forgot to say mostly we're poor at art.
Oh,
And this is live. We can't even redo it.
the damages we can do on live stream. let's just remind everybody, but mostly we're poor at making art. I'm Isaac.
we already introduced ourselves.
Oh, yeah, that's right. But we are the Two Poor Artists, and in case you're joining us for the first time, I hear there might be some distant relations in the viewing chamber today.
Let's hope not for their sake.
Let's hope there's not a viewing chamber dedicated to this. I don't even know what that would be.
Oh, well, that's where Josh used to sit.
Yes, well, Josh's spot in the corner today is being filled by none other than the ghost of Halloween past. Yes, just as we
got
hoped.
Waldorf.
Waldorf, oh man.
So, people in the chat, do we sound like horrible monsters today?
I mean,
like last time we did a live stream?
like I know we don't have the beautiful voices of art angels, but I'm guessing since they can at least understand what we're saying, you know. Thanks,
okay.
Thanks, Waldorf, for being helpful despite your best efforts.
Yeah.
I'm glad, Jeff, that you're proud of the fact that sometimes your backside gets to sit in the corner that Josh has once sat in.
Mm-hmm.
That is quite an honor, I will admit. There is.
Is it?
I mean, you've seen Josh sitting in the corner. It's a thing of beauty, a thing of majesty, really. But that's not what we're here for today. We're not here to watch people sit in corners. If that's what you're into, I'm sorry.
Be better
we'll talk about people sitting in corners. You can guarantee that, but never gonna. Anyway, we're here to carve pumpkins because it is nearly All Hallows Eve once again.
Mm-hmm.
And that means you're supposed to dig a gourd or squash out of the ground, and you are supposed to carve some kind of graven image.
Is that what we're doing?
I mean, graven sounds like, like the grave, like, woo, Halloween, decorations, death, sad.
So you're saying it's fitting?
Yeah,
I mean, it's
more like pumpkin images, and that's just what we're gonna do.
Oh, it looks like the fans need us to put a camera up in the corner so they can watch people sit.
Yeah, we've been thinking about a 24-hour corner cam, but due to some legal team advisement, we've decided against it for the time being.
Oh, is that why we weren't doing it?
Something about the fact
that legal team, they always get into our comments and our descriptions and ruin all of our fun.
Just last week, in last week's video description, in there, messing up what we wrote, taking the attention away from what's important, which is art. Now, for those of you who in the audience who are true, pure art fans, you may notice that there is color upon your screen. But just note that although we do hold to the fact that real art can only be produced by drawing with ballpoint pens and black ink, pumpkin carving is a close second.
Yep. We're still using the ballpoint pen tool.
Yeah.
So this would be as if you pulled out a ballpoint pen and carved a pumpkin.
This is the purest way to carve a pumpkin. Just be aware that we are not without our standards today. And that's just how it's going to be. So yes, we're using a ballpoint pen to carve. If it helps you to picture, just imagine we drew on the pumpkin with a ballpoint pen and then we carved it with a ballpoint pen.
Yeah.
Because that's how I like to think about it.
Yeah, that's how it works.
In fact, just the other night, Benj and I carved our actual pumpkins for this year, and we used ballpoint pen knives.
Yep.
That's definitely
something that
a real thing.
Why would we lie about that?
Yeah, why would I make up ballpoint pen knives?
Yeah.
Because I know you're all out there Googling them right now, trying to get them. And just know they were probably custom made by art monks in the hills.
Yeah, art
where the
monks,
black ink flows freely.
The best kind of monks.
Yeah, really.
Well, I'm gonna start my drawing.
I can see the light peeking out from within.
Yep. because that's how it works. So like these are pre-lit pumpkins.
Yeah, the best kind, to be honest with you.
We put a candle on the inside of the pumpkin, and now we're carving it.
Actually, we grew the pumpkin with a candle inside of it. You'll notice we didn't have to do that whole like cutting off.
Yeah, it's like
the top thing.
Genetic modifications.
That's exactly how it works, because nobody wants to, like normal pumpkins, you got to scoop out the insides, and it's just a mess. It's better if you just grow it with, the light built in.
Yeah.
Oh, you carved a piggy bank.
Yeah, so what I'm carving today, I was going to do a Superman symbol, and I was like, you did that last year. You can't do Superman every year.
Yeah, you can't draw the Superman. You can't carve a Superman symbol into a pumpkin 2 years in a row. The fans demand something new.
And so I'm doing something new. Because basically I was like, well, I won't draw Superman when pigs fly. So I'm just drawing when pigs fly. That's how it works. We should have like written a program that like you carve it and it like auto like deletes everything inside, like as if you were carving a pumpkin and it like fell out.
Yeah, but that's not how ballpoint pen knives work.
Well, but it would on a pumpkin. Like you would carve, like if I carved this would just fall out.
So
I wouldn't have to.
Really what I'm hearing is you're just complaining because you have a lot of coloring.
Color in.
Yeah.
You'll be complaining.
Well,
soon.
while we watch you color that in, let's take a look at the comments. Jeff wants to know how much pre-lit pumpkins are. They are 33 cents a pound.
But is that including tax?
33, it depends on where you live. Taxes in different places of the world. Some of you are living in states where you have more freedom and there's no taxes. Some of you are living in, other countries.
Wait, where's
I'm
the
sure
state that has no taxes?
I
want to move there.
Yeah, it's called free state.
It's what America used to be.
Yeah, but 33 cents a pound here in good old Arizona, not including tax, of course. Pumpkins, in case you didn't know, pumpkins are taxed 19 times.
19 times.
Yeah, it's a rough business.
See,
pre-lit pumpkins anyway. Something about the carbon emissions.
We've learned recently that the difference between a squash and a gourd is a squash is grown for eating and a gourd is grown for decorating.
Yeah, in case you didn't know. We're not without knowledge you can walk away with.
I wonder if they're taxed differently.
Yeah, no.
Like, because like vegetables are taxed differently than other things, right?
All I'll say is when I went to the store the other day to get our pumpkins, there was, because I get Benj's pumpkin. That's just a thing that happens when I'm at the pumpkin store. But no, they had pumpkins for carving, which are obviously squashes because you can eat those. But they also had like little tiny pumpkin looking things, which are obviously gourds. Because, those were just for decoration. You couldn't get much meat off of them. And they were like $1.20 for something that was like the size of a thimble. There's a good reference for those of you who don't sew. A thimble. I feel like thimbles were always popping up in stories and books and movies when we were kids.
They were called kisses.
That's a nerdy Peter Pan reference for all you, shadows out there. My gosh, the comments are blowing up, and I blame Waldorf. Waldorf, I am actually proud of you because your disappointment in us not using ballpoint pen black ink, because I'm also slightly disappointed in us.
I like this. Do you think the show is educational? And then the other heckler said, yes, it'll drive people to read books, because we're so bad.
Wow.
That people would rather read books.
I like how Waldorf isn't he's not very straightforward about being a heckler, but then Statler the Heckler is just like the full name.
Just in case you were unaware of what I'm here for.
Although I am also very much in for whatever pumpkin bacon would be.
Yeah. If we could get bacon, pumpkin.
Just imagine if you could carve whatever you wanted into a pumpkin, and what it
just like you could make a pie.
Yeah,
that then tasted like that.
No, but like if you carve like a pie into a pumpkin, it now tastes like a pie. Or if you carve like bacon, you carve a pig into it, it tastes like a pig. Imagine if you carved a person into it, and you could figure out what people taste like. like without being labeled a cannibal.
I was like, some thoughts don't need to be said.
I'm just saying the standard is to carve a face into it. If you ever wondered what someone's face tastes like,
but you don't carve a human's face.
I'm just saying you could. If you were curious enough.
Like, if you drew a specific person, would it taste like that?
Oh, yeah. Like, if I wanted to know what your face tasted like, grilled up and served with a side of zucchini, I could draw your face on a plate with zucchini. And then if I ate the pumpkin.
I think everyone should leave our channel.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. And, I like to think that we're educational. I'm not saying it's important to educate. Like, education is a broad topic, Mm-hmm. You could learn about lots of things.
Yeah, you could learn about how to do art poorly.
Yeah.
And technically, that would be education.
Yeah, like, I don't know how you two would label us. If we had a show on PBS, would it be like an educational show? Because apparently they're the standard.
PBS?
I mean, like, if we were up there with, like, Bob Ross on the TV, would they be like, coming up next, the educational program, Two Poor Artists? Because that's how they announce shows. The norm.
The thing with pumpkin carving is that, like, you're like, oh yeah, I'll just do this thing, and then once it, like, the pumpkin part falls off, you're like, oh, now it just blends together and it doesn't really look like what I wanted it to.
That's why how much of our art is always like that, though. You're like, I'm going to draw a man, and then you're like, well, actually, it's an ogre.
Because it's like, can you tell that this is two separate wings now anymore? Because there should be like a line right here.
See, pumpkin carving, one of the things that makes it second to ballpoint pen drawing is...
You can't undo.
Yeah, you can't. There's no undo button.
In fact, I think it's even more so than...
Yeah, it's true. Every time someone carves a pumpkin, like we carved some pumpkins with some friends the other night, there's always a point someone gets to where they're like, well... It's ruined.
The main thing of my pumpkin just fell into the pumpkin.
Exactly. And you can pretend that you're going to fix it by getting some toothpicks and sticking it back together. Yeah, but everyone knows that's just a Band-Aid on the real problem.
It's an embarrassment, truly.
We have each other. We have friends. We have each other.
Talking about
Statler is asking if we have friends. And yes, we have friends.
Yeah. Me, I'm Isaac's friend.
Benj and I together, alone, carving pumpkins.
Yeah, and I mean, we've mentioned it before. Isaac's surprisingly married, actually. Someone
that poor woman. Yeah.
Someone looked at his art
and said, "I want to marry that guy." That's how it worked. Yeah, I drew a picture, and next thing I know, we're married. Yeah, that poor woman. That's I completely sympathize with all of you who were out there just mourning my marriage with her. But that's normal. That's normal.
Yeah, just.
They include the pumpkins in their friend group. Madison, you does that mean like we carve a bunch of pumpkins and we're like, we have so many friends, look at all of the friends that came over, and it's just like a bunch of pumpkins?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why we carve. No, what is that? That's a Superman symbol.
Just off to the side, just a little
no,
bit.
What is this?
I'm gonna write my name and age on the pumpkin.
We didn't do that when we carved our actual pumpkins.
It's actually impossible. Like,
there's someone out there.
Like, there might be some way, but like, see, I do this B. Well, now that part just fell in.
Yeah, but you'd still understand. It would just kind of look like a sideways butt.
That part just fell in.
Yeah, okay. Well, then color it in.
The J works.
Yep, Jeff, I'm glad you got your money's worth. There's the Superman like you asked for. Yeah, see? If you don't sign it, it's not real art. You could call it a pumpkin carving, but it wouldn't be art. We learned that long ago. And you still get the idea that it's your name. Like, not much of it.
Oh, I've accidentally connected. You know how pumpkins.
What are you doing?
The
knife has gone crazy. But again, that's just normal. Everyone, when they're doing a pumpkin, the knife slips and Someone...
It ruins everything.
Man, you're drawing... All of this looked semi-okay until the name. Really, until the age.
Well, 31
So the
works.
art is saying that Superman is a flying pig, Madison wants to know. No. Have you ever seen Superman? Let me just rant for a moment about Superman. Superman is not a pig. Superman is a child of Krypton, the last son of Krypton, sent here by his loving parents when his planet was destroyed and nobody would listen to them. He arrived and was taken in by the Kents, lived on a farm, grew up confused and alone and scared, but soon he got over it once his parents explained his true origin. Then he moved to the big city, to Metropolis. He became a reporter. He met the beautiful Lois Lane and the often times confusing Jimmy Olsen. He worked his way up through the chain to become a reporter, but that's just his day job, you see. Underneath that tie and white pressed linen shirt, he is wearing his Superman costume and he flies through the air, not unlike a flying pig, but saving people, you know, fixing plane crashes, becoming the rails on a runaway train, showing up Batman at every turn. He is not a flying pig.
Yeah.
He does have a flying dog, though, named Crypto.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to get rid of my art here and let Isaac have a chance.
The end of the world would be much worse than what we're doing, although I'm not unconvinced what we're doing isn't a sign of the end times. Our channel existing, you people being here, taking time out of your day. Oh, that was fun.
Yeah.
Benj's drawing disappeared. Do we know what the S stands for? It's not second to Batman, Statler. How dare you? If I could kick you out of the comments, you can mess with our art. You can say whatever you want about me and Benj. You don't talk about Superman that way.
I did something wrong.
Oh, man. Benj is messing up everything.
One moment. I'm going to switch over to using a mouse.
This is embarrassing. Our fans are embarrassed for us. Because they wanted to see carving, and now they're seeing... Look at that. Look at that little color wheel they had to be exposed to. Disgusting.
Did they see a color wheel?
I mean, maybe. I had to see it. That was bad enough. All right, give me that carving pen.
There you go.
Statler, we wouldn't do that to you. We want you here. We're not kicking you out of the group no matter what.
Mostly because we don't know how to. We're not really good at the whole YouTube thing, as you may have noticed.
Madison pointed out that Wonder Woman was once turned into a pig in the Justice League show. You remember that episode? I remember the episode where they're all turned into kids.
Yeah, I remember them all turning into kids.
Yeah, but you really can't count the...
Yeah, no, I think I remember the pig turning one.
Just for the record, though, the Superman that's in the Justice League show, they had to make that Superman seem really weak and pathetic because he had to be in the same show as Batman and Green Lantern and Green Arrow.
How do you make Batman useful when Superman's there?
Yeah, it's like every time Superman would be like, oh no, I'm getting hurt, and Batman would like throw a batarang at some like world-destroying thing, and somehow it would have an effect.
Darkseid would come, and like Batman or like Superman's like fighting him, and then Batman is like dodging all of his Omega beams.
Colors are the bane of art's existence. Thank you, Madison, for that acknowledgement.
So
because so many artists don't realize that. But, you know, art was created back when everything was black and white.
Yep.
That's at least...
back in the good old days.
Yeah, like look at Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse is the perfect embodiment.
When Superman wore a brown costume, because it didn't matter what color it was, because it was black and white.
But I think you're mistaking the fact that brown is still a color. It's a gross color. It's the color of dirt and mud and other sticky things like sticks. But... it's not beautiful like black and white. The colors of art. But now it is my chance to wow you all with my pumpkin carving.
Yeah. I'm ready to be wowed.
No pressure, right? Because I am just here to wow.
And you know what? I'm not going to put any restrictions on you. You can draw anything you want.
Wow, that's really kind of you.
Yeah.
You went against my will anyway, though, so I don't really know how to...
kind.
how to feel about
well, only like a little bit in the corner.
All right. I'm going to start with eye first. Eye first pumpkin style.
Eyes first. Okay. Isn't that like actually the normal way to do pumpkins? I mean, according to that one, the greatest of pumpkin carving songs, you start with the eyes first.
If you've never listened to the greatest of pumpkin carving songs, it's not too late.
Yeah, look up Miss Molly pumpkin carving song.
Miss Molly's
or Jack-o'-lantern.
Miss Molly's Jack-o'-lantern song is the anthem of Halloween, as far as
if you haven't listened to it at least 10 times this Halloween.
Yeah, it is the perfect melody for your pumpkin carving party. See, we put it on and watch it or listen to it for the entire month of October on repeat.
Yep. And then, like, when the youth kids are carving their pumpkins, we make sure
when they're shouting, put on some Halloween, put on some. We're like, all right,
put on good music.
Gotcha.
We got them
Miss
covered.
Molly, here we come. Now, this is not your typical jack-o'-lantern, despite what Miss Molly suggests. I am going full circle eyes.
Yeah, not the 3-angle shape.
Nope.
Are you gonna do the 12-shaped mouth?
The 12-sided mouth. Yep. And then count the sides excruciatingly slow multiple times.
Yep.
No,
do that.
I'll save that for Miss Molly and her wonderful, musical extravaganza. Seriously though, when you're done with our video, go check it out. Miss Molly, Jack-o'-lantern song.
Or you could probably go listen to it and then come back, and unfortunately, we would still be here.
That's the joy of a live stream, is that we're still here a lot. All right. 2 eyes, done. Next part started. What did you carve in your actual pumpkin this year, Benj?
Superman, of course.
Yeah, there was a Superman symbol.
I shouldn't have drawn the hands, though. That kind of ruined it.
Yeah, well, that's just a rule of thumb for us, no matter what we're doing. Yeah. Every time we add the thumbs, everything breaks.
Yes.
The thumbs, I mean the hands.
Yeah.
Not just the thumbs.
If you're going to draw something in your lifetime, just avoid hands as much as possible.
Let's see here. Can you guess what I'm drawing yet?
Me or the audience? Because you told me.
Yeah, I meant the audience because they're here with us today. Don't you feel their presence in the comments? Hating on us? Except for...
No hands for Isaac for sure.
That makes it sound like a threat.
Is he the hand wrangler this whole time?
Oh, it's like these two in the comments are like sitting next to each other, trapped in a theater watching us or something. Waldorf and Statler. Like, if you don't read our comments, the comments will show up after the video for those of you who can't read it. Benj, you should just read off that last comment. It's quite the beauty.
You mean definitely Chicken Little?
No.
That's the last comment.
You know what I mean. From Waldorf and Statler.
Because it's all downhill from here?
Yeah, you just read... You don't read the punchline of...
You said the last one.
You don't read the punchline of a heckle at the end. At the beginning. You read it at the end. Heckles are kind of like jokes, but they hurt more and you cry about them later.
Do we? He said, Waldorf said, the second half of the show reminds me of Aspen. And Statler said, because it's all downhill from here.
And you can't just read it.
But the thing is,
like that.
People anyone here can just read it themselves.
Yeah, but what about the folks at home that...
Oh, your whole thing just fell. Color it all in.
No.
It's the rules of the pumpkin.
No, you see, I'm going for one of those pumpkins that only true pumpkin carvers. I'm getting out the ballpoint chisel.
Oh,
the ballpoint chisel.
So all of this is chiseling.
No, well, not just there's a piece somewhere. I haven't decided where yet. Maybe these parts here that are like chiseled only, so they look like they're cut most of the way through, but they're holding it in place or something. You know how people do that. You see like those professional pumpkin, not poor pumpkin carvers, like professional pumpkin carvers. Mm-hmm. They can do like, I painted the Mona Lisa in realistic shading somehow. Mm-hmm. And then you're disappointed because they chose a picture that wasn't colored originally.
Right. Yeah.
We can't read Heckles right. We're bad at it, Waldorf. We're poor at everything. I thought that was clear.
Yeah. We don't say like two poor artists that are good at other things. Like art's probably the thing we're best at.
It's a rough reality.
Jeff Wiegert wants us to have no pumpkin rules. Well, do what you want.
Jeff Wiegert is just an anarchist over there. Because he's just... Oh, I might have ruined this.
Well, technically you did that when you cut the whole thing out.
It's like, it's hard to say because I think it's done. It's like, but it looks weird with the mouth being closed. Yeah, whoever guessed this is the Iron Giant, you are absolutely correct. Because the Iron Giant, let me just rant about that for a second. The Iron Giant is one of the most cinematic, like it is one of the greatest cinematic masterpieces of our time. It was so far ahead of its time that its time still hasn't even come. Like its time is somewhere deep in the future where animation just somehow bounds back from where it is now to something just magnificent. Truthfully, one of the greatest movies ever made.
And like that animation style is like probably my favorite animation style.
It is fantastic, isn't it? Yeah. I'm going to see if I can't open his mouth a little. Give him a little smile.
Oh, Statler the heckler.
Where are these hecklers?
So true.
Where do hecklers live?
Well, I mean, these ones are Muppets, so probably like in like a bucket with other puppets.
A bucket? Is that where puppets live? Inside buckets?
Inside buckets.
Yeah, I might have ruined it. It's not decided yet. It's not decided yet. Oh, Jeff, you can
the character from Robots.
No, it's the Iron Giant.
We've talked about that movie once. The main character from Robots kind of looks like a small Iron Giant.
Yeah, well, that's because that's how they planned it. Here, I'm giving him the bump on his head that he has in the movie.
Now
and now you can't just say now it's Boba Fett who has the bump in his helmet because this was clearly first. Yeah, that's right. I said it. You know what else it needs? Now that I think about it, so one of we can just talk about the Iron Giant movie for a second. It is truthfully one of the greatest movies ever.
Did you know they're never going to make a sequel because the guy who made it, he also is the guy that made Ratatouille.
Yeah,
he refuses to make sequels to anything, so there'll never be a Ratatouille or Iron Giant sequel.
When you've made a perfect movie like the Iron Giant ends on like a little tiny happy cliffhanger, but it ends perfectly.
Yeah, like
if they made another one, it would ruin it.
Yeah,
it would. Like I wouldn't want to see it because it just couldn't live up to the original.
Like I like that the ending left it open so that you can imagine that the story continues.
Exactly.
But you don't want someone to I mean, it's like Infinity War. One of the near perfectest movies. And then Endgame came out and ruined everything.
Truthfully, one of the worst things that's ever happened in movie history. Like, because Infinity War is like the peak of superhero movies, and then Infinity War is like the bottom of the barrel.
Endgame.
Like I'm sorry, Endgame. Yeah, what did I say?
Yeah, you just said Infinity War twice.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, it's because I just want to talk about Infinity War. I don't like to admit that there's anything after that.
Yeah.
Think about it. Has there been a good Marvel movie since Infinity War?
Yeah,
no.
Like there's been movies that are worth watching, like the Spider-Man movie.
Yeah,
but like
I credit Sony with that.
And it storyline wise, it had a lot of problems. It was only good because of all the cameos.
It's true. If you've never seen The Iron Giant, just know that one of the best parts about the Iron Giant movie...
You just made a full circle joke. They cut all that out.
Again, it's carved.
You did this last year, too, where you just immediately made it... Like, you drew a shield or something last year, and you just made the whole thing a shield color.
I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to get a different color, but...
You have to go to that dot.
Okay, here. You know what I'll do for your sake, Benj?
Yeah.
I'll add a couple of little... This, I'm sorry you have to see this also, but just remember, this goes along with pumpkin carving. Just imagine there's a little toothpick holding him in there.
Mm-hmm.
And like a couple of toothpicks holding it in there too.
Okay.
We good now?
This all makes sense now.
Okay, good. Because I'm pretty sure that's pretty much it, right? That's the Iron Giant. He's held in place by toothpicks. S for Superman. Yes, the Iron Giant is not just great because of this, but he does. The Iron Giant, some there's mysterious robot from another place acknowledges that even he wants to be Superman for Halloween. Like, he dresses up like Superman and acts like Superman, because Superman is just everyone's hero.
Yes.
He's my hero.
Even the most powerful robot weapon that can survive a nuclear explosion wants to be Superman.
Well, if you're getting sick of this show, like apparently, Waldorf is, it's okay, because we're coming to the end. We're coming
but at least
to the part where I carve my name.
But at least he doesn't equate being sick of this show to being sick like the flu.
Yeah,
so
it's a good kind of sick.
I'll take that as we're better than the flu.
I've always felt that way about us, to be completely honest with you. All right. See, these parts I'm not using toothpicks on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it would just be too small for it to be. At least you didn't accidentally connect the G.
Yeah. No, there's
and then have a random slash mark through.
Mm-hmm. Well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. An Iron Giant pumpkin carving for your viewing pleasure. And now you have hope for the rest of your afternoon, because we're almost coming to an end. And that means you can turn us off, and you have 2 further things. I'll give you your 2 poor artists' homework for today. Number 1, there's 3 things you need to do for us today. Number 1, you need to go watch Miss Smalley's Jack-o'-lantern video on YouTube. You're already on YouTube, so it'll be easy. Once you're done with us, and you're like, man, I feel like I'm sad because their video's over and I don't want to go back to life. Remember, you have homework from us today, so you can still be a part of the 2 Poor Artists family.
Is that why you get homework? So you can still be a part of school? So you don't forget your teacher?
Yeah, I mean, that's no, it's art homework. It's different.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, poor art homework is a different thing altogether. So go watch that. Then go settle down in your living room and find whatever streaming service currently has the Iron Giant. If you can't find one, I recommend buying it.
Yeah,
because it's worth it. I don't recommend buying most movies.
Yeah,
this one, well worth it. The third thing you need to go do is go to whatever social media services you use and write one simple sentence: Avengers Endgame was terrible.
Yes!
Exclamation mark. That's how it goes.
If you learned nothing else, at least you learned that Endgame was terrible,
and that the Iron Giant is wonderful. You've also probably been reassured that we are just poor artists.
Yes.
Again, let's apologize to the fans for not using black ink. It's always...
We are sorry.
We did drop to the second medium in the spirit of the season.
But we did use ballpoint pen in our carving.
I almost feel like we shouldn't stop for our hecklers. We should just keep talking. Yeah. Keeping them here, as you were.
I mean, that's the second joke they made about it ending.
Yeah. So what if it doesn't end? What if we just keep streaming well into the night and into the morning?
Yeah.
Will you stay with us?
Will they keep making jokes about it ending?
Who's going to cave first? Are you going to stop commenting or are we going to stop streaming? That's really the question.
Mm-hmm.
But, we don't really want to do that. We don't want to hurt you. We're not here to hurt you. We're here to draw for you. And I'm sorry that both of those things so often go together.
Are the same. Yeah, I feel like at some point we just have to admit that our channel is here to hurt people.
I mean, that's not like our intent behind it.
Right, that's true.
Our intent is to bring real art to the world.
When you do something so regularly that you know is terrible.
I don't accept it.
Okay.
And that's all that matters, right? I don't accept it, therefore it doesn't exist. There, I'm sorry, I had the menu thing up. That's one of those live streaming things.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, now you can see it in its glory. I'm actually pretty happy with that. I would carve that into my pumpkin. I'd have to get a lot of toothpicks. But, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, with the real pumpkin, you could make most of his face be half carved in.
Mm-hmm,
and then you could make the eyes.
Yeah, that's where the ballpoint chisel comes in.
Fully glowing.
But honestly, yeah, I'm quite happy with this. Are you happy with yours, Benj?
Yeah, I mean, mine looked better than I expected it to, actually.
And
we both real easy.
We both got to do Superman symbols in ours, which is just
an S in a circle.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's all he had.
Yeah,
that's the Iron Giants.
The junkyard, and just picked up an S.
Well, we do hope that you have a wonderful Halloween. Make sure to dress up like your favorite poor artist, Benj or I.
Yep.
It's what everyone wants to do. We're the hot costume this year.
That's what I heard.
Us and Bob Ross across the nation, knocking on your door asking for candy.
Wait, are you saying Bob Ross is a poor artist?
No. Us and Bob Ross. Us poor artists and Bob Ross, who barely qualifies because he uses color. Yeah, he's in a different category.
Yeah, our
disqualified artist.
Our whole channel is to prove him wrong.
Yeah, and I feel like we do a fair job. No happy little accidents here. Just terrible, mind-altering mistakes.
Yes.
But until next time.
Bye.
Goodbye.